Shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get this lesson report started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yoshai, by Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from in the Shalom. To the hopefully elect man taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Adah. Check this out. Habeas corpus. That's what this lesson is going to be about, and connected issues.
So the Trump administration is considering suspending the writ of habeas corpus. That means they can arrest you, and there is nothing you can do. No court, no challenge, no nothing. You basically have zero rights. They can take you, and there's no recourse. And understand something. They can do this to anybody, any single person.
Now we know that we're going to be the target.
Did you know that? Nowhere.
Hey, cracker. We know we're going to be the target.
If they suspend habeas corpus, you better carry. You better fucking carry. If they suspend habeas corpus, you better fucking carry. If they suspend...
What is habeas corpus? Let's look into it. I already got it pulled up. Habeas corpus is a legal right that allows an individual to challenge the legality of their detention in court, ensuring they are not unlawfully imprisoned. It translates to "you shall have the body," and requires the custodian, e.g. a jailer or the police station, where you're being housed at, to bring the person before a judge to justify their confinement. The right is a fundamental safeguard against arbitrary detention. Here's a more detailed explanation. Latin origin, habeas corpus, is a Latin phrase that literally means "you shall have the body." Challenge to detainment. The writ of habeas corpus is a legal order that forces law enforcement or other authorities to bring a prisoner before a court to determine the legality of their detention. Judicial review. The judge then reviews the reason for the detention and determines if it is lawful. So you have some type of a second opinion, right? a safeguard set in action so that someone can't just come and take you and fucking lock your ass up. Judicial review. The judge then reviews the reasons for the detention and determines if it is lawful. Protection against arbitrary imprisonment. Habeas corpus ensures that individuals are not held indefinitely without due process or a legal justification. What do we see happening in America right now? Underneath Esau, the so-called fucking white man, and who is the focus or the recipient of this behavior? It's the so-called Latinos, accused of being MS-13, and renamed as Latinos when they are the Northern Kingdom. They are the Hebrew Israelites, but nobody sees that, right? And now it's not gang members. It's all kinds of women and children and family members and home builders and chefs and people who are functional people in society that this is happening to, right? Enshrined in law. It is a legal mechanism deeply rooted in the common law, and it is enshrined in the U.S. Constitution and federal statutes. Now we understand what that is.
Habeas corpus.
So South Africa.
Slovakia. And I'm going to come back to that because I'm going to come back to this because we're seeing what
This from Katie.
We're seeing what the enemy is doing.
Read that.
If
Give yourself
if habeas corpus is gone, the incentive of being taken alive is gone.
a couple seconds to think about it. Then read it again. Really let that sink in. If habeas corpus is gone, the incentive of being taken alive is gone. Read that.
Okay, so let's look at some of these comments. If the law no longer protects me, then the law no longer applies to me. See how these Edomites are responding? But you got to understand too, on a surface level, we got to take this with balance, right? We got to reapply it to a spiritual, prophetic perspective. But listen to some of the reasonable responses to the reality of what this is. Again, those of us who are hopeful elect, those of us who are Hebrew Israelites, hopeful elect prophets, and those of us who listen to the hopeful elect prophets, we have to do things a different way, but this helps you have a sober understanding on where you are at in a reference to time and prophecy. Okay, and we're going to pull that precept that's in Second Ezra's. Okay, times and effects. Watch, hold on. It is true, though, habeas corpus was a compromise between citizens and police, in that the justice system would not sort out wrongful arrests and provide innocent until proven guilty. Rule number 1 has always been never let anyone take you to a second location. Now more than ever. So you see the sentiment here, right? Let's pull up another video.
And then they came for you. And that's what's going to happen if this administration suspends the writ of habeas corpus. They're going to start arresting anyone and everyone they deem an enemy or a criminal. The writ of habeas corpus protects anyone on American soil and ensures they have a fair legal proceeding. You can't just take somebody off the street, say they've committed a crime, and throw them in jail without a trial, without a lawyer. All of that, everything that is fundamental to the United States justice system, as flawed as it is, will be thrown out the door. Stephen Miller is talking about how they're considering how it's valid to suspend the...
And Stephen Miller is an Amalekite. So it's not an accident that he's speaking about this. I think I have a video with him in it. I'm going to pull that up too.
Of habeas corpus, and if that happens...
An Amalekite is an Edomite who is a member of the head tribe of Edom. They are the top-ranking Edomites / so-called white people out of all the white people / Edomites on the earth. Yet they are the ones who claim to be Ish. They claim to be the small hats. They are claiming to be Judah. They're claiming to be us. So that goes under the whole controversy of Zion. They are the wicked, you guys.
People like Aaron Parnas, people who are journalists in legacy media, independent journalists, anyone in my comment section, me, anyone who goes on social media and speaks against this administration could be subject to arrest and detention, God knows where. And this is the last line. This is the final line. I mean, if you're not waking up yet, if this happens, it has not happened yet. If this happens, will you believe us now?
Now let's get prophecies, and we're going to go back to the videos. What was it? Revelations 2. The devil shall throw you in prison. Now we know. Okay, Revelations 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil. So we can see the devil is starting to take form. Who is the devil in this context? It's not talking about the prince demon Satan like white Renaissance Christianity taught us. This is talking about a race of people, the so-called white man. That is the devil in this context. He's the one who has the power to put people in jail right now. Do you see any other race doing what so-called Donald Trump and the families of people, the bankers, the Senate, the House of Representatives, the Republicans? Where are the Democrats? Quiet as fuck, right? Everybody's quiet. The only people that are really talking out about this are people on TikTok. Where are all these strong white men and white businessmen and white women that have power in the earth? Where is the resistance to this shit at? Exactly. Because they're all about this. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, because you're going to die. For the most part, once you get abducted, or once you get obtained, you that are hopefully elect, you that are Hebrew Israelites, you that call upon the name of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, you have to understand that if this happens to you, it was your lot. Don't freak the fuck out, man. You're going to end up on the chariot. In fact, when they kill you, your spirit is going to go straight to the throne room. You're going to be given a robe with other elect spirits that have died that way, and you're going to be able to cry out literally face to face to Yahweh, pretty much under his throne for the vengeance of your blood, waiting to be your next move will then be to get put on the chariot with Yahushai when Yahweh sends him back to destroy Esau, Edom. So you're not going to be in that position much for long, but your pain will be over. You got to understand the precepts. I believe that's Revelation 6. Okay, so be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Here, let's show you. So let's say this happens to you. You get abducted. You're a hopefully elect spirit. They kill you in jail, right? Yahweh says, I will give you a crown of life. How does this work? Let's pull it up. Let me see. That should be killed. That should be killed as you were. Let me see. Revelation 6, I believe. It's not responding to that. Hold on. White robes were given. White robes were given. Bam. That's what I was looking for. There you are, Revelation 6. And white robes were given to every one of them. And okay, so let's go back one verse. 2 verses. Okay, Revelation 6:9. Trip off of this. And when he had opened, and this is Yahweh Shai opening this seal. So nothing happens on the earth without the sovereign sanctioning of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai, okay? And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. This is only talking about the elect spirits of the Hebrew Israelites. It's not talking about fucking Christians. This is not talking about fucking Western Renaissance doctrine Christianity, talking about white Jesus. The fuck out of here. Renaissance Western Christianity never speaks about Esau, Edom. That's not who these people are. These are talking about the Hebrew Israelites. Verse 10. And they cried. Once their spirits went into the spirit realm, they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood? Because their blood was shed on them that dwell on the earth. And white robes were given unto them, every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So this is going to be taking place when let me see. When this is in full effect, which is basically Jacob's trouble, and we're at the doorstep of it now. We're already seeing it happen now. Okay, Revelations 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. This is talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You guys, it's not talking about Satan, the actual devil. Your eyes have to open to this shit, man. This is the difference between us and the people on TikTok who are doing a really good job at pointing out what Trump and them are doing, but it's carnal and it's surface level. You have to be able to go into the precepts. You have to be able to go into prophecy and line these current events up with the timeline of prophecy. Okay, that's where the edification comes from. You got to know where you're at. That you may be tried, and you have to have this attitude. Jacob's trouble is not about surviving as much as it is about coming through as pure gold, like it says in Amos or Zephaniah. Let's get it. Because a lot of our people are also going to die because of judgment. Two parts shall. There we go. So look at this. Zechariah 13:8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, it's talking about the people. It's talking about Israel as a people. That's the land in this context. And it shall come to pass that in all the land saith, and America saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off. These are your Hebrew Israelites who refuse Yahushai, who call upon the wrong names, who are still Christians, who are fucking criminal, who are Freemason, who are in the entertainment business and the politicians and have made a covenant with death and refuse to repent. 2 parts therein shall be cut off. They're going to die and die. But the third shall be left therein. And this is your hopeful elect. This is your 144,000 plus the innumerable multitude, which is that 1/3 that listens to that same doctrine. What's going to happen to them? Look, verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire. This is the straight gate. Okay, this is the straight gate mentioned in 2nd Esdras. This is Jacob's trouble, right? This is going to be a tough time. Scarcity of food, no water, sleeping in different places, being like nomads, running from place to place, hiding from Esau. Some of us will get spiritual powers. Most of us probably won't. You know what I'm saying? And within this, you're going to have those of us that will die, but they're going to be those martyred deaths, those crown of life deaths that we just read about in Revelation chapter 6, and the process of being imprisoned in those fucking FEMA camps, Revelation chapter 2. Okay, you have to develop this attitude. It's not a bad thing if you die and you're hopeful elect. You gotta train your brain to not panic about this shit. Because honestly, okay, like I said, I don't want to die, but I'm preparing my mind to. What does it say in Ecclesiastes? A wise man thinks upon the day of his death. You got to understand, the minute your heart stops, the minute your spirit leaves your body, Jacob's trouble's over for you. Your spirit now goes into the spirit realm, and you are escorted by the chariots, by the angels, into the presence of Yahweh. Literally, you're going to wait a very short amount of time before Yahweh comes back on the earth to destroy Esau, Edom. And you're going to get your glorified body and get put in that chariot and come back down with him. If this happens, you got to understand this too. So this helps take away the sting of death if you are a hopefully elect spirit and you're calling upon the right name, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so let's go back to the videos.
And then they came.
Well, it's happened. A line has been crossed. For the 10 years that Trump has terrorized the American political scene, we have been asking the question of, when do we need to go? What's the danger signs? What are the lines that need to be crossed for you to realize it's time to pull the shoe? It just happened. 3 prominent Yale historians have now fled for Canada. Jason Stanley, Timothy Snyder, whose book I've recommended on my page, and Timothy's wife, Marcy Shore, have all decided to leave. Why? Because those who don't know...
So what's the voice saying in all of this? And what do I mean? What's the sound of this? So you got 3 historians. One's a married couple and one's another guy. They are Edomites, and they are familiar with history, which means they're familiar with the functionality of the rulership of their own people for the past 1,000 or so years. Now they're incapable of communicating it concerning prophetic, but they're able to do it on a carnal level, right? So this girl's going to go into how they understand the patterns of history when it comes to government and people, right? And these historians, from a carnal understanding of how, when governments begin to move like this, what it means for the people, and that's why they have fled. So they have responded the best they can with the information they know, but we understand what's happening when it comes with this is concerning prophecy, because we are entering at the beginning of Jacob's trouble, which is also the end of Esau's rulership. They're together. Okay, you have to understand this. The beginning of Jacob's trouble is also the beginning of the end of Esau's rulership. It's that tumultuous. Esau is coming down, and as Esau is coming down, literally, figuratively, kingdom rulership-wise and tyrannical-wise on Jacob, Jacob is going to be, 2/3 of Jacob is going to be destroyed, but the 1/3 is going to be refined in that fire, that straight gate, right? That trying time. And as we are being refined in the fire, Yahweh Shai, the star that rises out of Jacob, is going to be sent back. He will destroy the armies, Satan and his armies, and the rulership, the rock that is cut without hands, mentioned in Daniel chapter 2, the star who rises out of Jacob, mentioned in Numbers, who is Yahweh Shai, will be able to establish the kingdom with the 144,000 chosen in their glorified bodies. And we will be able to go into the holes and dig out the rulers from their holes and then establish Yahweh's kingdom. That's a very like a microcosm of what's going to happen. Let's get Lamentations. Let's get Lamentations 4. It's a very awesome. This is a very now look at this. Lamentations 4:21. This is why prophecy and understanding prophecy is so key. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Talking about the modern day Edomites today that dwelleth in the land of Uz, the cup. What's the cup? That's judgment. That's Yahweh Shaphat. Okay? The day of the Lord. The fire. The ICBM missiles. The famine. The teeth of wild beasts. No water. All that. The loss of rulership. The cup shall slavery. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, sitting down in the dust. There is no throne. Thou shalt be drunken. Now, once he imposes this judgment on you and it gets into your system, you are going to be unable to overcome its effects on you. You're going to be inebriated with this shit. It's going to be inside of it's going to be in your bone marrow, in your bloodstream. What's your bloodstream? It circulates throughout your brain, all throughout your fucking muscles, your skin, all of your fucking lungs, all your veins. This cup and what is in it will be inside of every absolute part of your fibers. You're not going to be able to overcome it like we couldn't. Thou shalt be drunken and thou shalt make thyself naked. At the same time this is happening to Esau, this is what's being spoken to us. The punishment, the cup of thine iniquity, the slavery, the curses, the poverty, the diseases, the accusations, the darkness, the congregation of the dead, meaning not having any wisdom, knowledge, or understanding, not having any type of power, not having any backup, no defense, no one understands you. Everybody fucking copycats you and steals from you and looks down on you, but they're envious of you all at the same time. All that's done now. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. What is this talking about? The modern day Hebrew Israelites. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity. O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins. As we are walking out of prison, Esau is walking right by us. We have been dressed out. We're in our clothes. We've been washed off. And we are leaving a dungeon. And as we are leaving it, Esau has been apprehended. And he's looking at us defeated as we're walking by him. And he's now going to go where we were at. That's what this is saying, you guys. And we're at the beginning stages of this. And it's going to get very tumultuous. It's going to get very violent. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get, we're going to lose, electricity. We're not going to have any power. We're going to be eating food every other day. We're going to have to find water. It's going to be very uncomfortable for a while, but it's at the beginning stages of this. And once you understand that this is the process, it takes away the fucking paralyzing fear of just looking at Jacob's trouble and all this oppression that's going to be coming from Esau, Edom only, because what's on the other side. Yahweh Shai's on his way back. Okay?
Are doomed to repeat it. And they looked around at what's going on in our country and said, we're not safe, time to go. If I'm going to be able to continue my work and educate people on what's going on, I need to go. I can't do that here safely.
And the difference between these Edomites who see what their people are doing wrong, notice how she's not mentioning any justice, any judgment, she's not mentioning prophecy or any involvement of the Most High and His Son. So what she's saying is very deep, but it lacks. It's completely wanting, bro. It's weighed in the balance, and it's lopsided. She's not mentioning the fact that these people deserve judgment. Oh, these historians saw what's happening and they understand history, and so they just fled. Okay, so is there going to ever be any judgment against this race of people that you guys are seeing? Obviously, you're admitting that they've been fucking up for a while. You're comparing history from World War I and World War II, the same race of people, that they're behaving the same way right now, and you're not mentioning anything about them deserving of judgment. This is the difference when Edomites are crying out about what their people are doing wrong. They never mention judgment. They're really good at the surface level shit, and that's as fucking far as they go, proving they are unworthy, they are unfit to hold the position that they have forever, because they cannot properly judge, balance. They cannot properly balance, judge righteously. They can't do it. Listen to what she's saying, and she never mentions any form of judgment
anymore, because the Trump administration is rapidly descending into fascism and dictatorship, and they're not safe anymore to educate the public about the things that they know about history, to try and prevent these types of things. When Hitler took over
education is not how it prevents. They have to be destroyed. That's how you prevent it. Because Esau can't repent. Esau will never stop behaving the way he's behaving until he is forced to stop behaving the way he's behaving. You cannot educate the Edomites out of their DNA, because they're the ones with all the power. So education's not the answer, because they're not fucking listening. You can educate the people on the bottom all you want. You cannot educate the people on the top, and even if you could educate them on top, they're not going to stop, because they're created genetically that they only stop until they're forced to stop, and that's why Yahushua must be sent. But these people don't understand prophecy. So they're failing us even when they're trying to help us.
1933, it wasn't just that and mass extermination. There was a lead up many years. Obviously, their largest perceived enemy was the Jewish people, but they targeted lots of other groups as well. It was political opponents, civil servants.
Hey, Trumpkins, got a question for you. I'm Andy, retired cop, OIF vet, Kentucky colonel. Explain to me, please, how the suspension of habeas corpus is beneficial to anyone, and how that is not a form of fascist-type totalitarian control. I think that a lot of you don't even know what habeas corpus is, or even what a writ is. So please explain it to me. In my comments section, explain to me how the suspension of habeas corpus is going to benefit anybody. Because to me, that sounds like a dictator. As a retired cop, this makes me sick to my stomach. And in fact, we've already seen it kind of in action with their deportations, because they're not getting any due process there either.
Bam. And those are the Hebrew Israelites.
Explain it, please. Hey, Trump.
So late yesterday, Stephen Miller, one of the president's top advisors, threatened to suspend the writ of habeas corpus, one of the most dangerous and vile threats he had coming from the administration. Let me break down what that means. First, take a look at what Miller said.
This is an Amalekite. Okay, this is the top tribe of the Edomites. This is the race of people. This is the tribe of people that are your bankers, your banking families, the Israelis in Israel, all the people who are in Hollywood, the same people who control hip hop, the same people who control pornography, the same people who control the media and are making all the fucking laws being written and are, pretty much siphoning all the money out of America. It's this specific tribe of the Edomites known as Amalek who hide behind the lie, which is called the controversy of Zion claiming to be God's chosen people. Absolute fucking wicked men.
Privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at.
So there's Miller threatening to suspend the writ of habeas corpus. First of all, what is a writ of habeas corpus? Habeas corpus is Latin for provide the body, show the body. And what that means basically is when someone is in custody, you can bring that person before the court. You have a right to go before court and make the case, I'm not the right person, I shouldn't be incarcerated. You can challenge your unlawful detention. This is a right that is not only enshrined in the Constitution, but goes back to the Magna Carta. For hundreds and hundreds of years, in order to challenge the authority of the king in Britain, you had this right to go before a magistrate. It was considered one of the most important rights enshrined in British law, and it is as well in American law, in our Constitution, and by statute. So there's Miller threatening to suspend it. Now, are you allowed to suspend the writ of habeas corpus? Under what circumstances? This has only happened 4 times in our history, including once during the Civil War. The Constitution has a clause called the suspension clause that allows the suspension of the writ of habeas corpus, but only in cases of rebellion or invasion, and even then only when it's necessary for the public safety. So several problems with what Miller is saying here. First is he and the president don't have the authority to suspend the writ. That authority is given to Congress, not to the president. But second, there is no rebellion, there is no invasion, and in fact, when courts have considered their renderings, their deportations already, the courts have held there is no invasion from Nicaragua or anywhere else to justify invocation of other laws like the Alien Enemies Act. So they've already lost in court on this issue. That clause doesn't apply. That clause is actually meant to protect people and to provide only narrow circumstances in which the writ can be suspended. But what is most threatening about what Miller has to say, besides its utter lawlessness, is the justification, which is, well, we'll have to see what the courts do. That is, they're threatening this lawless action to take away people's right to go before a magistrate. They're threatening that action if the judges continue to rule against them. This is a message directed at the bench. This was not something that Miller spontaneously said. This was premeditated.
And so what is this all going into? Like we said, it's going into, we are at the ending of Esau's rulership, and because of that, the devil shall come down with great wrath. I know it's in Revelations. The devil shall come down having great wrath, come down having great wrath. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth. Bam. So look at this. Revelations 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell into the earth. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, again, talking about the so-called white man, the nation of Edom, okay, and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And they know that their time is short. Esau is the end of the world. You have to see everything according to prophecy, or you're going to be in the fucking dark. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And Yahushua is on his way to enforce this. Do not be deceived in thinking because we don't have a military, because we don't have any power on the earth, that they're not going to be forced out of their position. The words that we are saying, the prayers that we are lifting up, the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahushua that we are calling out, and the doctrine, we are declaring the 100% truth. The angels that are in the chariots, the so-called UFOs, they're listening and reporting everything that's being said. They're giving us the messages. They're hearing the messages. The vibration in the earth is changing, and we are declaring, we are chanting down Mystery Babylon. We are speaking with fire because we are speaking this word, and the Most High is taking our words, Yahushua, the hosts are taking our words and turning them into fire, and they're making Esau eat them wood. And the fire is devouring him. It is supernaturally changing the psychology, the physical vibration, the spiritual vibration of everything. Yahushua is coming back, man. He's going to force these motherfuckers out of their position. End of story, dude. Okay? But you got to see this. We got to declare it for what it is, all right? Let me see if I can pull one more out of 2nd Ezra's. Effects and signs. Let me see if I can pull up that particular. There we go. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings. So here we are declaring more words of fire. Okay, even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And we are seeing all the effects and signs, and we're defining them to you. We're telling you what they are according to Scripture. And those of you who can hear, you're hearing. Those of you who can't hear, it doesn't matter. You're hearing it, and we're telling you it's going to happen before it happens, and you're going to fucking get swept up in it. 2 Ezra 9:7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Verse 8, shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. This is going into your elect. See, everything's all done by election, predestination. Those that are going to die, they're going to die. Those who are going to be saved, they're going to be saved. And Esau is going to come off that fucking throne. And Yahushua is going to sit on the throne of Davidah. Malak Davidah, King David. He's not going to stop it. Yahushua will rule the earth. Yahushua will not only rule on the earth from the throne of David, he's going to rule on the earth from the throne of David, and he's going to rule the fucking universe. He's going to own the whole universe. Everything. Verse 9, then shall they be in a pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life, and this is going into the Israelites. This is going into the 2/3 Israelites. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, right? And they that have loathed my law, while they had, it's all your black Christians, your black Muslims, and your so-called, your fucking Catholics, your Northern Kingdom Catholics. That's a lot of reason why the fucking Northern Kingdom is going through what they're going through right now. I don't like it, but those motherfuckers don't want to stop being Catholics. They don't want to change. A lot of them love they love Esau too. They want to be Esau. And they that have loathed my law, all these motherfuckers in sports, in the politics and hip hop, all those niggas, man, all those 2/3 Jakes, those fucking Freemasonic, fucking oath-keeping, occultic, fucking punk-ass Jakes, all the people in the Sinners movie. That faggot fucking director, he's a Freemason, you guys. Michael B. Jordan, they're all fucking Freemasons. Fuck them. All the singers, motherfucking Oprah Winfrey, fucking P. Diddy, all those faggot, all the bodyguards that are snitching right now, all of them are Freemasons, man. All these dread-headed fucking niggas you see on fucking YouTube and fucking TikTok with their fucking podcasts, all of those people are fucking Freemasons, man. This is going into them. And they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet had place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. All the fucking 2/3 Jakes you see Elder Menatazabah going in on, talking about their hatred for Hebrew Israelites, or how can we hate the so-called white man, defending Christianity, defending, Americanism or patriotism. Fucking idiots, man. These prophecies are specifically directed at them. Okay, 2 Ezra 9:12. The same must know it after death by pain. So you fucking so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, you can get it too, just like Esau. Okay? You can get it too, just like Esau, because you refuse to repent. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakodash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned from. Shalom to the hopeful elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahushai, our King. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.